So the other night I was doing a planning session with a bunch of guys, and about the break time, Pat came up to me. Now you got to realize Pat's 72 years old, and the exciting thing about Pat is he's still planning. The beauty of us is we never arrive. And he said, you know, I've been wrong all these years. I said, Pat, I admire you. What have you been wrong about? He said, I never got very deep. He said, you see, when you told me about the boxcar principle, I really realized that's what I've been doing. Think about this. If you really want to understand what's happening in your life and you want to have a good snapshot of yourself, think about why you don't get there, why you're always a river and never a well. You're just floating wherever the water's going, because life brings us so many possibilities, many of which we create for ourselves that don't work out. But I told a story about how recollection versus contemplation is the truth in getting deeply into what's going on so that you can focus. If you can't focus, how do you discuss or identify the reality of who you are and where you need to go and how you need to transform yourself? You see, recollection is what I call the stopping point. You see, we all have a mind, and the mind is an amazing thing. And we have a train that spins by our mind, and we've got all these possibilities, and every boxcar is a possibility, and it just keeps spinning, and our mind keeps going from one boxcar to the next. Recollection says you got to stop. You got to let something catch your attention so that you can move deeply into the reality of it. That's the boxcar. So as things are rushing by, grab a boxcar, grab some concept, and think deeply into it, which brings you to contemplation. You can't get deeply into yourself if you can't get to contemplation. Let me give you an example. So the boxcars are going by, and one of the boxcars says engage. And you stop the train and you get into the boxcar and you realize, I've never engaged anything. I've just waited for everything to engage me. So what does engagement say? Engagement says, how do I embrace what's happening to me? Then you say to yourself, well, what's happening to me? In other words, today, what came to me that I had nothing to do with? In other words, I didn't make it happen. It happened. And how could I have engaged it at a deeper level so that I could have benefited from understanding it and understanding what it means to me deeper? I encounter all these organizations and individuals that plan and plan and plan and identify priority actions and try to figure out what they need to do, but never stop with one object, one point, one idea, one truth, and just work it to a depth of understanding where you see how it connects to everything that's going on around you. The reality of life is not about what we know or how smart we are. It's about how effectively we can engage deeply in the opportunities that come to us. Just think about today. What has come to you today, and how should you or should you have engaged that opportunity to come to some understanding of yourself you didn't have before today?